Sam Adams berseru, di Boston dijurus teh ke Laut Biru. Tak diperlu gempita sorak yang gebu, diperlu hanya unggun api yang syahdu. Kini menyalahkah unggun sakti itu? Kini merebaklah nyala unggun itu. Thank you.
Bawan Hasaram, and he would like to talk about something as well. Please.
Thank you for the opportunity to address you today. As a veteran of the student movement of the 70s, I'm really heartened to see some of the old faces around. But I'm even more heartened to see the lots of young people, a great sense of vibrancy in this gathering here today. That's really fantastic. And you know, it's the same issue that mobilized students back in the 70s or earlier to the students of this generation. You know, what do we want? We only want a fair system to elect our political leaders. Free and fair elections. Now, is that so hard to ask for? You know, in the words of Abraham Lincoln, the Malaysia wants, and Malaysian people want, government for the people, by the people, of the people. That was okay 100 years or more ago. It is high time that Malaysia have that chance as well. You know, many of you gathered in similar rallies in June last year when Persay 2 took to the streets. And the government tried every means possible to try to crush the Persay organization, including trying to ban it. However, over 50,000 people massed in the streets to defy the tear gas, to defy the police, to come into the streets. And today, as we speak, tens of thousands are gathering, not just here, also in Malaysia and locations around the world. Because we feel this movement represents something very critical. And that we feel that there's something seriously wrong with what's happening in Malaysia, and we want to fix it. Now, the Najib administration, in response after the Persay 2, did tone down their rhetoric, try to be less hostile, and have a parliamentary committee to look into the issues. But now we know that there was all window dressing. They were not going to address this issue, and that's why we are here today. You've already heard today about the problems in the electoral roll. You know, we have over 65,000 people who are 85 years and old. This is fantastic, isn't it? We even have got somebody on the voting roll who's 149 years old. That breaks the Guinness Book of Records. You know, in Malaysia, it seems that the dead rise up and come to the election to vote. You know, like in the vampire movie. But in Malaysia, it's only on election day. Just one day. We also know that there are tens of thousands of non-Malaysians who somehow are on the roll, but you people here, you Malaysians who are so keen about democracy that you want to turn up here today, but you can't vote. Now, is that fair? Aside from the problems in the road, we also know that there is an incredible gerrymander established in the voting system. You know, the smallest seat, Putrajaya, has got about 6,000 voters. And the biggest held by the opposition has 112,000 people. That's 17 times. Now, the analysis has been done about this disparity between the number of people in different seats. And they have calculated that a government relying on, a party relying on those small seats can take power with as little as 15.4% of the vote. That means, think about that. The opposition can get 80% of the votes, but still be denied government. Now, how can that be fair? Now, what possible excuse can the Electoral Commission have to justify such blatant gerrymandering? There's no doubt today that if an election is held before the electoral roll is fixed up, no one will have any credible belief in the government, because we know the electoral roll is stuffed up and we cannot have a fair government. Now, at best, such management of the electoral roll would be described as, mismanagement, incompetence. But at worst, this is downright cheating. The national government, the Barisan national government, wants to hold on to power at any cost. And we know the temptation to hold on to power is obvious. The scale of corruption in Malaysia is just enormous. Barry Wayne, when writing about the Mahathir period, calculated that over 100 billion ringgit was squandered by the Mahathir regime. So this is money that belongs to Malaysians. This is money that has gone into fancy jewelry, overseas holidays, big fancy apartments. In the light of the numerous failings of the Electoral Commission, we would have expected the Election Commission to acknowledge, it's a problem. They might say, sorry to fix the problem. Sorry, it's a mistake. We are working hard to fix it. But instead, we have the chairman saying that Malaysia has the cleanest electoral roll in the world. How can they make such wild claims, such ridiculous claims? No one believes them. It's just no credibility. Now, what will it take for the EC to fix the problem rather than go into denial? And that's why you are here today. Many thousands here today in Malaysia, all trying to force the government to do something to fix it. Now, you are trying to make a difference. You want to tell the Election Commission and Barisan Nasional that people are not going to accept this situation anymore and continue to take direct action until it is resolved. So today I ask you to be resolute, to be strong, to be steadfast, and because our cause is just and right, stay firm until Persay is victorious.
Well, thank you very much, Pawan. Thank you very much, everybody, for being here today. We should make our presence felt. Heat up! Heat up! Heat up! Heat up! Heat up! Riot! Heat up! Riot! Persay! 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 Isi resign! Isi resign! Heat up! Heat up! Heat up! Heat up! Heat up! Riot! Heat up! Riot! Persay! 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 Isi resign! Isi resign! Alright, now we would like to open the floor to Praveen and Smitha, and they would like to talk about the current voting rights of overseas Malaysians, please.
Good afternoon, and thank you so much for coming. My name is Smita, and I'm an overseas Malaysian. I've lived here 5 years now, and I'm just like all of you. I can't vote unless I go back home. Now, why do we matter? Why do we overseas Malaysians matter? Well, first of all, we're still citizens of the country, and we still love our country. Do you all still love your country? And we've been getting feedback that we don't matter anymore, but we do. And I'll explain to you a few ways that how we do matter. we still actively contribute back to Malaysia. It's intangible and it's tangible. Every time we talk to somebody back home, given our overseas experience of living here, we have new ways of thinking. Our minds and our eyes are open. And when we correspond to our family and friends and ex-colleagues and teachers and whoever back home, we give them a new idea, we give them a new perspective. That's how we contribute back home, and that contribution should be recognized. And with our new ways of thinking, our open-mindedness, when we vote with that open mind. So we can ensure a better result for the elections. We can ensure that we get a more balanced leadership for our country. And like I said earlier, we still vote. We still care. We wouldn't be here today if we did not care about our country. Okay, I'm going to hand over to Praveen now to continue.
My name is Praveen. I'm an overseas Malaysian as well. Now, before I start, I want you to reflect on what Smita said. I want you to think about what you're doing here. As she said, we have various reasons for being here. We come here for education, we come here for training, some of us come here for employment. Ask yourself, are you here because you chose to be here? Or did a loved one coerce you into coming here, saying, Malaysia is going down the drain, go overseas, study, stay there, work there, live there, don't come back home? See, I'll tell you something personal. This is a conversation my father had with me 10 years ago. I was 18 years old then. What do I know? Say, Papa must be right. Yeah, Papa must be right. I'll go there. 10 years it has been. I still feel stateless. Is that something we should feel? No. We as Malaysians? No. Okay. Now, for the benefit of those in the crowd who aren't fully aware of the current overseas voting rights of Malaysians, just for your benefit, I'll quickly take you through it. Currently, not under the Malaysian Constitution, but a repressive Election Regulations Act or something to that effect restricts overseas voting to government servants, armed forces, and full-time students. Until recent time, full-time students were defined as government-sponsored full-time students. Now, I'll take you through some statistics as well. In Malaysia, there are about approximately 15 million eligible voters, of which approximately 11 million are registered. There are 1 million Malaysians living and working overseas who are denied a voting right. 1 million equates to 9% of the electoral roll. 9% of the electoral roll in Malaysia can't vote. How can you call this a fair election? Yes, I was told not to use profanity, but yes, you're right. Now, why does overseas voting matter? Now, how do you feel about, how do you feel when you think about the situation in Malaysia, when you think about things happening in Malaysia? Not the nasi lemak and all that, but when you think about the negative things that you feel passionately about, how do you feel? For example, today, we gather here peacefully. I got the tram in, no issues. Okay? In Malaysia, a democratic nation, right? A peaceful assembly to demand for clean elections. Okay? Clean elections. You are told you can hold it. Then a while later you're told you can't hold it. Then the location's barbed wired. How do you feel when you think about this? Angry. Angry. You feel angry? Yeah. Who here feels angry? Yeah. I feel very angry. I feel very angry, and I'm also saddened. I'm very saddened. It is the same feeling you get when you're dealt with a great deal of injustice. You're pissed off, but you can't do anything.